Peace, love, and light to the family. It's your brother Donald once again, the jack of all trades. And today we will be discussing ingredients and the ingredients inside of foods, right? So ingredients is something very important because check this out. Everybody goes to corner stores, gas stations, supermarkets, your local distributor, and they see foods, quote unquote foods, what we call it, and on the back is something called nutrition facts. So you can check out my video prior, and you can see where I speak about nutrition and nutrients, the nutrients that exist inside of foods. But now, why is it that on the back of every food is it mandated that they have to have nutrition facts and they have to tell you the ingredients of what's inside of these foods, right? Well, most people don't even take the chance or the time to turn the bottle, the chip bag, the bag, or whatever it is that they're consuming to actually look at the ingredients of what's inside of it. So they don't know basically what's in their food or how it's measured and things of that nature. So that's what we're going to be talking about today, right? Because you can see these are Snickers, these are kind of different kind of foods here, cereal boxes, M&Ms, and we're going to look at some of the ingredients in here, and we're going to break down what some of these ingredients mean. So first of all, what do we need to know about ingredients? The first thing we need to know about ingredients is the first ingredient on the label is what that food, beverage, medicine, drug, hygiene product, or etc. contains the highest concentration of, right? And second thing is the last ingredient on that label is what the product has the least amount of concentration of, right? So this is important because just knowing this one simple fact can tell you what is highly inside of the food you're eating and what it doesn't have, or the least amount of what's in there, right? So just knowing this one simple fact, let's look at some of the ingredients on some kind of foods and see what's actually in here. So Arizona, which is called fruit punch, something that everybody buys in the store for 99 cents, $1. I don't know if you guys in the States and things of that nature, but yes, overall this thing is mainly sold for $1, right? And let's look at the ingredients. The first ingredient, well, it's called fruit punch. So I think just listening to the rule, it says the first ingredient is what the food beverage has the highest concentration of. So if this is Arizona, it's called fruit punch, it's safe to assume that the first ingredient should be fruit, right? Or some kind of fruit. But the first ingredient is actually filtered water. Then you got high fructose corn syrup, fructose, not glucose, the natural blood sugar. We'll break those down too in a separate video, right? But the last ingredient of here is called carrot juice, vitamin C, and gum acetia, right? So the point is that the first ingredient is called filtered water, and they tell you got fruit punch. Over here, Frosted Flakes, first ingredient, mild corn. Can your body digest corn? Can your body digest the cornels? This is something that's very elementary that we all know. Even some babies know today when they have a bowel movement, they see the cornels inside their bowel movements because they understand their body cannot digest corn. But the first ingredient inside of Frosted Flakes is corn, right? Then you got high fructose corn syrup once again. Oh, we can't forget about sugar. Remember we spoke about in our prior video, we spoke about carbohydrates and refined sugars. Check that video out. And then you'll see why sugar is in most of all processed foods. Gatorade, same thing. First ingredient is water. Sucrose, not glucose, the natural blood sugar, right? And they tell you that to drink Gatorade, you know, it's supposed to be fueling your cells and it's better than water and things of that nature. But first of all, you don't want to have anything that has over 10 ingredients and things like that. The less is more. So we got more ingredients to break down too, actually. Let's check this out. Oreos. Look at this one. Oreos is marketed to us as chocolate chip cookies. But the first ingredient is sugar. And the last ingredient, see the arrow? Is chocolate. So if the last ingredient is what it has the least amount of, and the first ingredient what it has the most of, that means by default and by definition, Oreos has more sugar than it will ever have chocolate. But it's marketed as chocolate food, or it's chocolate chip cookies, when it's actually just sugar cookies. It's unbleached flour, wheat flour, which is another form of refined carbohydrates, and this is what children are eating most of the day. Sprite is marketed to us as lemon and lime soda, right? on their logo, you see a lime or you see a lemon. Let's look at the ingredients here. First ingredient is carbonated water. Carbonated water. You breathe in oxygen, you breathe out carbon dioxide. That's the reason why when you drink soda, which is carbonated water, you burping because you're trying to burp out the carbon dioxide that you are now drinking, right? So this is what soda is doing to you. Plus it has the grams of sugar is 38 grams. This is not glucose. This is not unrefined sugar. This is refined white sugar that is being put inside your soda. Hence the reason why you're addicted to drinking soda. You're drinking, you want some more, right? Because your body is not satisfied. Your thirst is not quenched. So you need to drink some more. It's an addiction. It's a drug. This is why they put sugar inside of all of these processed foods. Look at this canned foods over here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. That's 12 rows of just ingredients. And there's like 10 ingredients on each line. So that means all these things is going inside of your food and inside of your body that you're now consuming. So these are the ingredients that exist. We got some more too. Tropicana orange juice. They tell you in the front of the juice that it's 100% juice, but you turn it around, actually look at the back, they tell you that it's 42% juice. Things that people are not looking at or paying attention to. If this is orange juice, I think the first ingredient should be orange juice. But the first ingredient is filtered water, right? Then you have concentrated, pasteurized orange juice. Well, not from concentrate, but it's pasteurized orange juice, modified food starch. Pasteurization means that they're applying radiation to the food. They're applying radiation to the beverage, right? To then basically have it have a longer shelf life. Because natural oranges would not last 3 months inside of your shelf or the fridge. But this will, because it's radiated. Radiation causes cancer, and they're pasteurizing this food. And so now you're drinking something that has an agent or that basically is a catalyst to you people getting cancer, because radiation causes cancer. And they're radiating this beverage here to have a longer shelf life. Doritos, another whole long list of ingredients. First ingredient, corn, which your body cannot digest. Disodium guanylate, which is a flavor enhancer. We're going to break those things down too, because you have MSG and DG. Monosodium glutamate, disodium guanylate. Monosodium glutamate is in all Chinese food, I'm pretty sure you heard of, and it's in a whole bunch of foods. And it's basically a flavor enhancer. It makes you basically want the food more. A flavor enhancer. Approved by the FDA, is generally safe. Symptoms, you get headaches, sweating, facial pressure, tightness, numbness, rapid fluttering heartbeats, chest pains, nausea, weakness. And it's supposedly one of the leading causes of autism, right? So this is what a lot of our children's symptoms are when they're in school. They say they have headaches. A lot of them be sweating. And a lot of adults as well are facing these kind of things from the foods that they're eating. They eat a lot of Chinese food. Check this out. Remember, Chinese people don't even eat the food that they make inside of the stores for themselves most of the time. They're not eating the food that they make inside of our black communities or inside of our communities, right? So this is another reason why we should be looking into what they're putting into the foods that we're consuming, right? This is just another source on MSG giving my child autism. I don't want to break the whole thing down, but if you can, you can screenshot this. You can see the source down here. A Bay Area biochemist thinks she's found soy autism smoking gun, monosodium glutamate. According to Reed, may neurodevelopmental disorders like autism are potentially linked to an improper balance of glutamate intake, MSG, monosodium glutamate. So you can check that out when you get a chance. And disodium guanylate, which we saw in the Doritos, is another flavor enhancer, which is also approved by the FDA. And it's produced by fermentation. Fermentation meaning foods are basically rotting inside the body and being converted from sugar into alcohols. And it's a chemical that can be legally hidden inside of your food with additive number E. Here's an example, E160 terms such as spice, yeast extract, yeast which is a fungus, hydrolyzed vegetable protein. So this is how they hide these things inside of the foods that you're eating. So here's some of the foods that you can see it in, right? Yeast extract, MSG, yeast extract, spice extract. So these are some of the foods that they basically just try to hide them in, you know. Yeast extract here, yeast extract, monosodium glutamate. yeast extracts, so check this out. And also, boom, we got trisodium phosphate, another ingredient. This is actually inside of our children's cereal. What is trisodium phosphate though? It's a heavy duty cleaner. It's basically to clean paint, right? It's a paint cleaner, paint remover. And what does it say here? The original deck, side cleaning, effectively controls lead paint, clean surfaces in preparation for painting. Warning, harmful if swallowed, eye and skin irritant, may cause burns. See other cautions on back panel. Trisodium phosphate. Let's go right over here to Cheerios. Let's look at the ingredients. Trisodium phosphate. Let's look at Trix. Let's go to the ingredients. Where do we see? Trisodium phosphate. This is what it looks like. That's what's in the cereal that our children are eating right now, which is a paint remover. So this is through ignorance. Lack of ignorance, right? Well, lack of knowledge, sorry. So the lack of knowledge will cause us to basically be eating these foods without knowing, because now we know better, we do better. Because who would want to be willingly feeding their child paint remover? Who would want to put paint remover inside their bodies knowing that it's there, right? So this is why it's important to know the ingredients of what's inside of our foods and being conscious and aware so we can make better decisions. Okay, cool. So, dioxin, which is another ingredient that's found in some of our foods. Let's read this for a second. High dioxin levels found in foods, right? Because this is a source. The study says levels of dioxin among the most toxic substances on Earth. Among the most toxic substances on Earth remains the high in the U.S. food supply, although they have declined in the environment, right? Meat and dairy products are considered the biggest sources. Dioxin concentrate in animal fat, and the best way to avoid them is to eat more fruits and vegetables. That's simple, because dioxin is actually our family of 219 toxic chemicals found in the environment, mostly as a byproduct of industrial processes such as smelting, bleaching, and paper pulp, and manufacturing of some herbicides and pesticides. This is where it's coming from, and it's mainly in meat and dairy products. So if you are basically vegan or eating plant-based diet, you can stay away from dioxin, which is one of the most deadliest toxic chemicals on Earth right now, right? So here's the source. It basically breaks down dioxin and how it's being found in foods. So this is basically saying that we want to be mindful of what we are putting inside of our bodies, because these chemicals, these different chemical agents, all these different herbicides, pesticides, fungicides, they can leach to your body through these chemicals, through the ingredients that you don't know or you're not aware of. So we have to stay aware, we have to do our due diligence, we have to do our research, and we just have to, once we do the research, we have to apply the information that we know, right? So just be aware of the ingredients that you put inside yourself, family. Don't live to eat, eat to live. Peace and love. Health is wealth.